website isn't just a store, it's a full brand experience.
Hello, hello. Welcome. We are about to start. My name is Mariano Gomide de Faria. I'm founder and CEO of VTEX, commerce platform. And today, I'm happy that I'm going to share the stage with one of the most iconic cases for US as a brand, as a digital transformation. And the one that I'm bringing to the stage is Goku, the CIO of KitchenAid. Please, Goku, come. Welcome. So to introduce you the brand, to introduce you to what is a KitchenAid, we do have a short video to just warm up the session. Please, if you can kick off with the video.
A website isn't just a store, it's a full brand experience. And this year, we're taking it to the next level, migrating to a seamless, unified global digital platform. Let's take a scroll and spot the differences, shall we? We're transforming our site into a sleek and modern experience that excels. Getting from homepage to checkout meant navigating multiple steps. Now, fewer clicks get you there in no time. Customization was possible, but not always seamless. We're introducing a real-time engraving experience that's easy, and expert guidance tailored just for you. But great experiences don't just happen. They're built. And this new platform empowers our teams like never before. With intuitive drag-and-drop modules, quick updates, and simplified promotion and coupon creation. Together, we're creating more than just a website. We're building the next level global brand experience.
So this is KitchenAid. KitchenAid is one of the top consumer brands in the United States. And why I believe a KitchenAid case is unique? Because it's one of the only cases that they are proud of importing from the world best practice to bring to the US the same agility and the same kind of a mindset they had in operation digitally the world, from Latin, from Asia, from Europe, mainly from Europe. So I'm going to go through the case, exploring the details of the case, and later we're going to open these for questions, okay? So Goku, thank you for coming. The first and jumping directly to the content is like, how did you make the decision to pursue this project for KitchenAid small appliance brand? So what was the rationale on the big decision of simplifying, unifying, and make it like a more streamlined, let me say like that, way of seeing IT? I don't see you as an IT leader. I see you as a business leader. And that's was since the beginning that when I met you, was the thing that I saw, say, oh, this guy will move this company ahead because he's not thinking on technology, he's thinking the outcomes that the technology can bring. So how did you make your mind on facing this challenge of unifying platforms across the globe and bring KitchenAid to what it is today?
Sounds good. Sounds good. First of all, thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be here at NRF and talk about VTEX. Just to set context, I spoke here I think last year, and that time I wasn't too confident about what I would say because we were in the process of migrating over. Although we did have one region that was fully migrated, but now at least I can say with more confidence on the value that we've seen here. Let me just set context here. KitchenAid is an iconic brand. We make, most of you might know stand mixers. That's one of our iconic products that we have. We've been in the business since 1919. So it is a 107-year-old company if you think about it. And we're part of Whirlpool Corporation, which is a 114-year-old company. So these are iconic brands that we're talking about. Going back to your specific question, we did have a use case available where we were seeing the small appliance business being highly profitable, and at the same time, it was a business that was growing much faster than some of the traditional major appliances businesses were growing. So in that regard, it was a business decision that was made to carve out KitchenAid as its own entity, where we run it as an own company. Now, when you're running that as an own company, and it's a global business that we have, which means we sell products from all the way from Australia, New Zealand to India to the Europe to US and Latin America, it was important for us to identify one common platform that we could migrate to that was simple enough, yet it had all the nuances available to take any complexity or customizations that we needed as a global brand. So that was one of the major decisions that we had to make. In all transparency, it was not a decision that I made. I was part of the decision. I came in a little later, but we did our due diligence in assessing VTEX with some of the competing products that we had in the market, and we took this informed decision. We also have Europe that's completely migrated over to this new platform, after which we decided to migrate US. So today, if you go to KitchenAid.com, the site that was just playing here, you would see that is all powered by VTEX. So that was one of the major drivers for us to migrate over.
Recently, you launched Canada as well.
Yes, we just did a soft launch for Canada. We will be going full-fledged with Canada next week. That's the plan.
You're going to see KitchenAid talking from Kogu or from Ludo, the CEO, and the word simplicity, simple. It's always there in every single pitch that they do. It is a company that they were able to navigate this very hard period for retail and brands in the world they are just kind of future-proof for that because they transform the company in a very simple way. So it's pretty, for me, a benchmark. It's a case that is not, well, like popular case as a digital transformation, but I believe is going to be one of the top most kind of study case in the world because what they are doing is just incredible. Second, what challenges did you KitchenAid face managing digital commerce across multiple regions? So clarify to the audience how many regions you do have and operate with KitchenAid, and what are the challenges when you face one stack to the world?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, just to set context here, we have about 53 websites globally. We have about 25 e-commerce sites. We have about 13 code bases. Now, when you're looking to consolidate all of these, it is extremely important to understand, do you consolidate it into one? Is it just going to be, one e-commerce platform, or do you also need CMS? Whether does the CMS have to be headless, et cetera, et cetera? So there were a number of decisions that we had to make. Eventually, what we came down to was it's the combination of VTEX and Contentful that we use for CMS that is really powering, our business forward. In terms of complexity, there were multiple code bases. Changes that we had to, the changes that we wanted to do to a particular product, to a particular tech stack, et cetera, was extremely time consuming. And that's mainly because of the complexity that Mariano just mentioned. When we formed KitchenAid Small Appliances as a separate entity, that gave us an opportunity to really look at consolidation, where if you think about architecture, how do you simplify architecture that's there? How do you ensure that you're reusing any of your integrations? Those were some of the key aspects that we had to deal with. Those were some of the challenges, because we could have done an as-is migration, but then we wouldn't have seen the value that we are seeing today. The other piece I also want to focus on is, technology is one aspect, but this would not have been possible without a great business strategy. So I think it is a combination of technology and business strategy that is really powering the results that we see today.
Something interesting that they used to have multiple hubs of people working for the IT and the business all over, and they start to consolidate these in main hubs. Today, can you just share where are the main hubs for you as an engineering perspective or service perspective?
Yeah. So as I said, we're a global business. We have engineering. We do manufacturing in Greenville, Ohio. That's our main plant. We do have hubs in Australia and New Zealand. That's a big region for us. We do have hubs in Europe, specifically in Belgium. In the US, we are based out in Benton Harbor, which is in Michigan, Southwest Michigan. And we also have hubs in Argentina and Mexico and Brazil, to name a few.
Perfect. To put all those kind of different cultures to work together, I can tell you it's not easy. And KitchenAid is succeeding on doing this. And I can tell that is by very hard decisions. It's not easy to simplify. You need to be a very strong and very convicted that you are very convinced that you are targeting to be simple. And simplicity means margin. So KitchenAid is a top brand, right? They can claim that they have a great margin, but that's not how they think. They go for every single opportunity of creating margin. They will go for it. So it's pretty interesting. When do you begin to rethink the commerce experience? What did success look like for you when you say, look, we need to rebuild the entire thing? What were you expecting?
Yeah. So maybe I'll just go back to what you said in your first question. I do think of myself as a business leader and not an IT leader. Because at the end of the day, what really matters are conversions, numbers, and technology is one aspect. Just because you move to a certain technology does not guarantee you success that you need. When we looked at success criteria for this, we broke it down into two aspects. We had the technology related KPIs that we wanted to meet, more like the uptime or maybe some vital statistics, page load time, etc. But then almost all of it should translate into some of your business KPIs, which are more around, what does the user journey look like? What additional features are you providing to your consumer? What should customizations look like? How quickly can you change a price on a certain product? What promotions, et cetera, can you apply? All of these should be tied back to your main KPI, which is around conversions. So I think it is a combination of tech KPIs plus business KPIs that you really need to be clear about. And as I said before, it is that combination that really is needed. We talked to a number of companies that have done these transitions, and oftentimes what we've seen is you won't immediately see success if you only rely on a technology to really help you hit your business goals. Technology is going to be an enabler, but at the end of the day, it has to be solid business strategies that you have to adopt alongside good technology. But having said that, technology has been a prerequisite in this case, because without the right technology available, those business strategies might not have been totally proven to be worthy enough.
Did you make the decision to unify? That's out of script, but is a consequence of your what you mentioned. When you took the decision to unify, that was sponsored also by the CEO, by Ludo, or it was a thing that IT decided by itself, or was a corporate decision?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, again, just to set context, this whole migration that we're talking about, if I just talk about US, because that's one of our biggest markets that we did this transition a few months ago. We had about 150 people participate in this whole migration. There were about 6 vendors. We had about 80 stakeholders in total, and there was, different levels of, and I think there were like people from 7 cultures and 24 different time zones. So there's a statistic that we
Recipe for disaster.
Exactly. So coming back to your question, almost all the decisions have to be endorsed by the business. It cannot be just a technology decision. The real successes that we've seen are when the technology decisions and the business decisions come together. When I, as a CIO, make a proposal to my stakeholders on a certain technology, it has to be tied to the business. So there's a statement that I use. You got to be. There should be zero distance between IT and the business. That is where you can actually see the value come up. So we had multiple layers of alignment. It was not easy because especially around tech, e-commerce, the business is also equally knowledgeable about what is out there. It's not really an IT skill set. So that is where, as an IT leader, how do you understand the business perspectives, also understand the IT perspectives, and make informed decisions? And at the end of the day, it's more about option analysis. You have to provide options with certain pros and cons for the business and IT to make a decision. So I would say it was a joint decision-making process.
I remember one of the meetings to decide details on the project. I was with Goku, Ludo, the CEO of KitchenAid, and I believe it was like 4 or 5 more VPs. And in the middle of the discussions, Ludo took the hands and asked the word, and he said, "Look, it's going to be like that because I want it to be like that." And it's not common to see this kind of strength in a CEO that just took over a big organization in the world. But that's, I am seeing more and more in times of disruptions, like how convicted the leader is to go forward. It's actually directly related to the results of it. And not only Ludo, but Goku and the entire team act as one company. And that's pretty hard to see it. The size of KitchenAid in the world, that has no ego, no hidden agenda, and they were just there taking the decisions what's best for the consumers, and the obvious came to the table, and it is what it is. So it was a transformative meeting for me, that one. Not easy, but was a transformative one. What were the key technological elements that you need, and that you need from day one when you migrate everything? We show here that we changed the navigation, we changed the click-through, the checkout, we changed a lot of things, and things can go wrong when you change a heavyweight kind of a business case in the world. But you didn't flinch. you knew that was the right thing to do. What was behind your technological decisions? What are the elements that you wanted to be there?
Yeah. There is one thing that I really believe from the core of my heart: whatever you're doing has to impact the end consumer. If you're putting technology in place that is not, simplifying the journey of the end consumer or helping the end consumer, it might not really be as valuable as you want it to be. So I would say there are multiple elements of technology. Let me just categorize this into maybe three main ones. There's the front end, where the users actually see what they're doing. They go to a site, they can see the graphic user interface, etc. You have front end elements, then you have the back end elements. Back end elements are how these are connected to your ERP systems, your SAPs and whatnot. And then you have the broader tech stack. When you look at broader tech stack, that is, I think, a very, very critical piece. Your search, your payment gateways, your campaigns that you run, so on and so forth. So I would say these are the three big elements that we had to take care of. And just like any Fortune 100, 150 company, we have a lot of technology available at our disposal. Whenever you try to do some of these migrations, it's also important to see how can you consolidate certain technologies. Do you need all of them, or can you sunset some of them? Can you consolidate some? Because that is where you really see value of not just adding a new tech stack, but also trying to consolidate what you have. Because at the end of the day, you want to simplify the consumer's life, their journey. As you saw, there are some things around just engraving a stand mixer that is opened up new possibilities for us. And that could not have been possible with our old tech stack. So I would say we definitely found a number of new possibilities that opened up, but at the same time, we also found opportunities where we could cleanse and simplify our existing landscape.
And after migrating, months of migrating, you did Canada really fast, right? What are some of the most outstanding results you've seen so far after the migration to VTEX?
Just to clarify, I don't think we weren't as fast as I wanted to from a Canada standpoint. We took almost the same time. But hopefully that's going to be faster when we do the other regions, because they're already on VTEX and it's about VTEX and Contentful. The biggest benefits that we saw, as I briefly said earlier, we split our KPIs into two different aspects: the business ones and the technology ones. The technology ones are more or less standard. We could see better loading times in a PDP. We could see less abandonment in carts. The uptime, I would say, was comparable, because you cannot have downtimes in an e-commerce platform. That's disastrous. But at the same time, when you look at just the page loading, etc., we could see marginal improvements. But the real value that we saw was some of these new possibilities that opened up. As an example, the engraving that I just spoke about. This really gives us an opportunity to think more on what might be certain other elements, especially related to AI and some of these future technologies that we can start using. I would also say, from a business standpoint, we did look at, conversions are going to be the biggest ones, but they do add up. It's different elements of smaller KPIs that eventually add up to conversions. So what are those are going to be extremely important for us to evaluate as well. Lastly, I would say we kept it simple. We didn't want to have like 200 metrics, because it's very easy to identify 200 KPIs and see whether we are green on those. Rather, we identified, I would say, about 10 in total from both technology and business in order to create a go, no-go. And based on that go, no-go, then we had to activate our business strategies around promotions and other plans, etc., that kind of consolidated to this benefit.
And those elements of discovery, new service, new UI elements, just to understand if I got correctly, in VTEX you would do faster and easier than you used to do before.
Yes, absolutely. So some of those changes could be made by the business teams themselves. As an example, if you look at price changes, earlier, if we had to do a price change, it would follow an entire change cycle where you may have to get in touch with 10 different people, have 5 tickets, and then eventually, you get a price change, only to realize that, you want to do it all over again and as soon as it's done, because, that's time to do another price change. Now, with certain tools that are available along with VTEX, we were able to pass that ability directly to the business folks who are able to make price changes on the fly. Now, of course, there's an element of governance that plays a big role there, because you don't want people to do price changes in a very random manner. It has to make sense, and we also need some tie-ins to audit to make sure we have covered those areas. But VTEX and Contentful and some of the other simplification that we've done has made us more agile as an organization to deploy capabilities, to make changes, adapt in a much faster way.
Yeah, and top line and bottom line
Absolutely.
came together, right? In the off the stage, you told me that the engraving. Oh, we do have a video of the engraving. Can you give me the video, Robin? That's as you mentioned. I want to show the engraving. Oh, that's the engraving. So you click in any category that accepts the engraving, and you add service to your products. And I believe that is a kind of a value to the brand. That's an amazing brand, and people wants to give a KitchenAid as a family asset. So you can engrave whatever you want, and that was a discovery that they made with VTEX. The functionality exists before, but the way they are doing increase a lot. Do you mind to say how much it increased? I don't know. I'm on the spot asking you.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Feel free to not say, but
I don't want to give a specific number, but it has been several folds. So much so that it's opened up a new revenue opportunity for us as well. Just for context here, a KitchenAid appliance, a stand mixer, gets passed on from generation to generation. So that is one of the reasons why a grandmother that would have owned an appliance way back in time wants to pass it on to her daughter, that gets passed on to the granddaughter, etc. So this is a very emotional kind of a kind of an opportunity for us, where we did not really know whether this would be a huge opening of a new revenue channel, but then we were very surprised when we saw that. So when we launched it, we also started pricing these. And then when we started pricing these features, we expected that to go down over time, but we actually saw that stay flat. So much so that we continue to have that new revenue stream there. And again, as I said, this was a feature that was available at other brands. If you look at, again, not home appliance brands, but if you go to any other normal brand, you could see that. But this is not something that popped out to us right up front. But when we saw these, and VTEX had these capabilities, we said, why not take it forward? Now, I know I'm speaking for the future here, but there are many more additional value adds or new openings as well that we're seeing in terms of maybe getting gift cards, marketplace in, marketplace out, etc., that are extremely important for us from a new value prop standpoint that we would like to execute here very soon.
And those changes to make these pricing engraving, testing engraving, it did require a lot of capex, a lot of investments on KitchenAid, or it was a seamless operation with VTEX. So it's not normal for us in VTEX. It's pretty expected that clients comes and just customize on the business side, are very easy, but actually it's not normal in other platforms. So we are seeing many customers surprised by the fact that you just can go to VTEX and easily test new business model, new revenue streams. So give us a comment on that. Was from the decision to the go live and change the price, and that was an easy operation?
Everything costs money. Nothing is free. So I would say it was simpler to do it. However, there was capital investment. All the projects that I just spoke about, again, have capital investment. At the end of the day, what we want to see is the cost of technology should go down, and that is our overall business case, and our sales volume should go up. Now, however you want to tie that together is up to you and the CFO to decide, and of course the president to decide. But then eventually you do want to see those numbers play in line with your aspirations. And then you do have checkpoints that you have to put in to see whether you want to scale more, or whether you're not seeing the value from a certain market, from a certain condition, because the technology might exist in another country. That's the easier part. But then your business strategies and your promo strategies, etc., have to align overall. So I would say it's a combination of both, but definitely capital intensive. This has opened up new possibilities that we are starting to think beyond the horizon.
Now that you do have a one platform to the world, it's when you discover something in one region, it's easy to just replicate.
Yeah, that is the most important piece here. I would say one of our biggest learnings has been you double the good and halve the bad. So wherever you see opportunities come in that is helping one region, is it possible that you can do that in the other region? Sometimes it is not possible, and that's normal. But in our case, when we looked at integrations, I can throw some numbers here. We had about 150 odd integrations that supported 2 countries. Today, those 150 integrations are supporting about 14 countries. So that reuse is a huge piece. Plus, there's a term that we coined. It's called glocalization, where you want to develop something that's for the globe, but also have the ability to customize it locally for the region. And as long as that localization is a small percentage of the global, I think you're getting better.
Well, what's next for KitchenAid? What's in the roadmap?
Well, a lot of things. A lot of, we have new products that are coming up, some of which I cannot talk about, but a lot of exciting stuff that we have on the plate. Specifically from a technology standpoint, we did migrate over, Europe and US and Canada, I would say, to VTEX. The roadmap is now to migrate all the countries in Latin America over. And then we would like to go to Australia and New Zealand, that today uses another technology. So that is there on the roadmap. We've seen good success with all the migrations that we've done so far. And trust me, I generally don't come up on stage and talk like this. So we need to see good numbers behind the scenes. And we're proud to say that we have seen those numbers. And I would also say that it has not been completely seamless, but it has also not caused too much disruption. And now what we're really banking on is to continue this journey for the other regions, but at the same time open up some new possibilities that I just spoke about in terms of having a gift card, having marketplace in, marketplace out, or new customizations, etc., that are going to be opening up new revenue channels for the brand. At the end of the day, it has to simplify the life of the consumers, and you should see more uptick in the sales and revenue channels that you see.
Time for the last one. What advice would you give other than other heritage brands looking to modernize?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. I would say don't go for technology for the sake of technology. Be clear on what your business objectives are, what your company strategy is. What worked for one might not exactly work for the other. But having said that, as I cannot deeply emphasize that your technology roadmap, your business roadmap has to be one. And as long as that is one, there is good alignment with your business stakeholders and your IT stakeholders. There is a good model of success that we've seen here that could be replicable to the other companies. At least it is replicable to some of our other regions within KitchenAid, and that's the reason we're doing it. So I would say that alignment piece is very, very important. Also try to do an assessment of, what is your current state in terms of architecture, in terms of complexity, and take this as an opportunity to also simplify the complex landscape that some of you might have within your organizations. Because we always have solutions within our companies that we don't use, that we don't fully utilize, or that we just pay for because it is out there. At the end of the day, what your business stakeholders would want is the cost of technology to go down, but at the same time, it should drastically also increase the value add for your business and for your brand. Plus, there is the investment in unknowns. That is how I call AI. Everyone's talking about it, but a lot of companies are also, including us, we're I wouldn't say we're struggling, but it is still not clear to us on the value that it's going to drive. So having those clear business use cases, having those production prototypes that you can test out, and making a decision on when to invest on some of these and to scale is, I think, extremely important as well. And finally, I would like to end with, think of yourself as a business leader, because especially if you're leading IT for a brand or a product, it is important for you to also understand what are the challenges that the business faces, because having a new technology deployed might not solve for the problems for the business.
Okay, I'm gonna check with the production if we do have time for one question. Time's up. No, yeah, he said like no, 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 no. So let me give my LinkedIn or Goku LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, we do have 5. Thank you. Perfect. So guys, any questions from the audience? Yep. Could you help me there, Marcos?
Hi, hi. Hello, my name is Bianca. If you could specify which version of VTEX are you guys using? Because I work with VTEX on my e-commerce, and I know that there are a lot of different versions.
Well, that is a great question, actually, and I'm not 100% sure of the answer. It is the headless version that we have, but what I do want to state is, I know you guys come up with newer versions that are available. We try to keep that updated as much as possible. Generally, as a company, we follow an N-1 to N-2 routine. We don't want to go to a new version as soon as it is out, because they're not completely devoid of any bugs. But it is the headless CMS plus VTEX version that's really worked for us.
Hello. Thank you, Mariano and Goku. What do you think about starting a marketplace in KitchenAid's e-commerce and bringing sellers that maybe can complement your product offerings? My name is Guilherme. I'm from a search fund called Scala Capital.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's a great question. Marketplace, so there are two kinds of marketplaces, right? There's marketplace in and there's marketplace out. We do have several brands within the Whirlpool umbrella that we have an opportunity to cross-sell. Also, when we look at just KitchenAid, small appliances, we do have licensed products. We do have the iconic stand mixer, so on and so forth. There is an opportunity to cross-sell that we've realized. And we will not be able to do that unless we have a seamless integration with a marketplace. Now, each region and each country is also slightly different for us. So what might work in Europe might not really work in the US. But having said that, we do identify that marketplace is a good opportunity for us to tap into, because we today do that in some bits and pieces, but through some off-the-shelf third-party solutions. But with this e-commerce platform that we have through VTEX and the headless CMS through Contentful, we do have an opportunity to also streamline that and add more value while simplifying the tech stack.
Something that we always request from our customers is that VTEX allow you to experiment. And experimentation, it's revenue and it's profitable. To bring the customers in the spirit of experiment and write off and experiment again, something will pop and will become a value. That's the engraving thing. Like nobody knew that was a big thing, and today is a big thing. Marketplace in, marketplace out. So all of those things you can easily test through VTEX, and it's not for every brand that's gonna work, but the fact that you can test, it is a value by itself.
Yeah, maybe I'll just also add, there's this element of hyper-personalization that you may have heard of. How do you cross-sell something that makes a lot of sense to the consumer? These things can go really right. They can also go really wrong, and I'll give you both examples. The way it can go really right is if someone's bought a stand mixer and you know that you want to cross-sell them an attachment or maybe a matching small appliance that is not available through that site but is available through somebody else. That's an opportunity to really make a case for marketplace. The way it can also go wrong, and this was just in the papers, I heard yesterday or day before. I'm not going to name the company. But there was this friend of mine who bought an electric vehicle, and he got a promotion for an oil change with a 30% discount. So when you think about how you think about the opportunities that get unlocked, it is also very important to also understand that this can be backfired. So I would say we have to be careful on that whole strategy on marketplace in, marketplace out. However, it does open up a brand new set of lens for us to view our business in.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, my name is Xiaoqi and I'm from Victoria's Secret. So I work for a franchise partner team. So we have like fairly similar situation. So we need to like give guidance for our partners to improve their website. So I'm curious about what kind of AI functionalities that you adopted during migration and how is the performance?
We both can answer these. I will answer in the perspective of what is inside, and he will answer what is from outside perspective. So first, the contextual search. That was a big thing. And that's not for the customer to require, that's for the provider to push. So we move from a text-based search to a context search. And that has improved a lot. We have clients from 10% to 20% improve on the click-through and on the conversion rate just by changing the search for a contextual search. Other things is related to the content for the products itself. So how you gonna streamline, as he said, like we run KitchenAid over, I don't know, 30 countries, 30 plus countries. It's not obvious that the content that you do have for one country will work for another country. So content needs to be tested. So we do have inside our platform a retail media platform. So inside VTEX, you do have a retail media platform that you can test your promotions, your contents as an ad. So the same money that you're going to put in Google or in Meta, you can put in your own website. So you can share these with the market. So it's how to deploy the trade cash that the brands have. Your provider should also bring solutions for that, and this is one of the AI things that we do have inside. The last one that I'm going to mention is customer support, chatting. This is embedded. So this is not an extra functionality. This is not for the customer to choose. This is for the provider to make it there available. So, like the world is changing so fast that the provider should embed the AI and translate AI in functionalities. AI is not a technology by itself. It's just a new way of thinking. So if you don't rethink the way you interact, and this should be done by the provider, it's not only for the customer to require, you will not absorb the best. So those are the three kind of cases that we are pushing to all the customers of VTEX to use. And let's see just from the client perspective.
Yeah, I would say we still haven't unlocked that, just in complete transparency. We have played in bits and pieces because, as I said, at the end of the day, if you are paying for a certain technology, it has to bring in the ROI. Now, we have seen value in search because, when we look at search specifically, and I think, you guys could have a direct relation to that as well because, there are a number of things that you can search on there on your site specifically. How does that return a really good result? Even if the exact query isn't being searched, how does some result get thrown out? As an example, if you go to, let's say, KitchenAid.com and type in cookies, we don't sell cookies, but it could potentially point you back to, a stand mixer or some parts of the appliance that can help you build cookies. So I think that is an area that we're playing around with. I also know when I was in Brazil last month, the team did show me some capabilities around, that you guys are developing on VTEX that we could potentially make use of. Because that is an interesting space, and I'm just being completely transparent here. It is easy for us to jump in just based on the two letters AI, but the business is going to ask you, what's the investment return that you're getting? And oftentimes it's also change management internal. You will have to change the ways of working in order to see some of those benefits. So it is, again, a combination. We haven't completely cracked the code, but I would say we've made some good headways, and we see a good silver lining back there.
One of the examples of what he said is that there's a new functionality in VTEX that's a recommendation AI powered by Cinerais. The CEO of Cinerais was here or is here somehow. Is here. He's one of the most intelligent guy I know in the world. So this is a Polish company that provides the technology to VTEX that provides the technology to KitchenAid. He doesn't know that what are the best of the best AI models or technology we are using. It's our role to translate and make it very simple for him just to say, yes, I want to test. Yes, it is inside your price. Yes, let's make more results. So I echo what he said. We just don't like being like almost a kind of a blind on the AI thing. Say AI needs to be translated into GMV, into profit, and revenue in between. So if you don't target GMV or profit, there's no such AI, So we are being very cautious in blocking projects from our customers that do not have a clear goal of increasing revenue or increasing profitability. And if you do so, you bring the clients to think properly and say, oh, I want something that will reduce my human necessity on customer service by 80%. That's a project that VTEX is supporting. So the pragmatic approach on business results should always drive the AI world. It's not the opposite way.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe one more example for you to maybe think about is this is not in relation to VTEX, but in relation to KitchenAid. We were seeing some challenges with demand forecasting. So we have different ways to forecast demand, and what we were missing was explainability of the data. So if AI does not necessarily have to drive your top line or bottom line, but if it can help in explainability of the data, that can help you make adjustments to your forecasts, your patterns, or seasonality, your pricing, whatever it is, to help you drive those things. So don't think of AI to solve world hunger, but it should be able to help you identify certain patterns that you have to, again, go and work on that can also be really helpful.
We can talk more and more, but one of the functionalities that we are really proud of is on a B2B, VTEX provides a platform that supports B2B and B2C in the same platform. And the B2B, you can have a kind of customer portal and allows your customers to go in and put the orders. But actually, the customers on B2B, they want to just WhatsApp you with their needs, and it's for you to digest an email or a WhatsApp with the quotation. And why not to build a tool that digests the email and the WhatsApp into a quotation and make these automatic? And when you go to the technology guys and say, let's build this, and say, no, that's too easy for AI. That's not even a challenge. So we need to be really cautious that IT cannot drive innovation by their ego. They need to support what makes revenue to happen. And in this case, to automate like email inbound and WhatsApp inbound, it's something that can unlock 20 to 30% of your revenue. So we need to keep it really tight, the business goals that you want to pursue, and not spend money on technology that is not like tangible for that. That's our school of developing. We came from Brazil originally. That is not like a vast amount of money that you can say, "Oh, let's test everything." No, 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 no. We need to be very sharp, very sniper in what and how we deploy cash, and that's the world right now in all the regions. So we're really proud of being very, very conscious on how we deploy our investments.
Hi, to Goku. I mean, what does it mean to have a billion-dollar company CEO that really know about your company, like as a partner? And for Mariano, how can you cultivate this in a company for an analyst to really know what's going on with your client and develop this kind of partnership, or just like a number, but you really know about his business and he can count on you as like a real partner and not just like a supplier?
It's like a marriage. It's tough, tough conversations, man. There's no other way. We do have very tough conversations with him, with Ludo, the CEO, with the CMO, with the CDO, with the managers. When they try to innovate by innovate, we come to the table and say, "Don't do it. This is your ego. Don't do it." And say, "No, but I do have the budget." Say, "Don't do it. We tried these in France with another brand and failed. Why are you gonna test it?" And sometimes they come to us and say, "No, the stability is not good. Like the security standards are not good. Like AI, I don't want to think about it. Think for me." And I say, "Okay." So you need to have a, like we. You mentioned in a good way. I don't see him as a customer. I see him as a partner. I believe he doesn't see me as a provider. He discussed their business with me, and I discuss my business with him. And this is all about how Gerald and I built VTEX. We are not building a provider. We are building a company that needs to rest for many, many years. And if we don't go deep inside the customers, we just don't have the information to bring the customers to the right spot. So that's from my perspective.
Yeah, from my perspective, if your analysts and your managers don't believe in the technology, it is going to be a really, really hard sell. You might deploy it, but it will fail eventually. So it has to come from that grassroots level as well, where you are simplifying the lives of your people, the team members that are working on it. The example that I gave earlier, in order to make a price adjustment to a certain product, it would take somebody 2 days. Now, if they have the autonomy to do that within 2 hours, that's a huge value gain for them. So it's very important to ensure you're telling your people what's in it for them, because it's very easy to have a strategy deployed top down, but when you show people what's in it for them and how their life is going to be less complex and simplified through technology, in this case, you will automatically get buy-ins and more support. And to his earlier point, my team pushes back really, really hard on VTEX. Let me tell you that. Every day we have, challenges, but we believe in the product. We do believe in the leadership team and the teams that are supporting us. We won't have all the solutions available. We want the moon, and we also realize there are a lot of things in the pipeline that are going to be valuable for us in the future. So it is a true partnership. This is what I tell my other vendors as well. The moment I stop looking at them as a Whirlpool employee or a KitchenAid employee, you are more talking about, finger pointing and all that stuff, and it's generally not going to be that productive. So especially in this case, we act as a true partner to see what are the things that we can learn from them, what are the things that they can learn from us, and that's how it's going to be a truly valuable partnership.
At the end, you need to be at the table, like I don't believe in remote office, twice a year, I just pick a plane, land in Benton Harbor, and we have like a 4 hours conversation with the CEO, CMO, CDO, without agenda. Like there's no topic, and say what I'm seeing the world, what you are not doing, say what they are requiring us that we are not doing, like straightforward. So you need to be there for the customers, and that's the only way I know how to build a business.
Hi. Goku, you mentioned expanding to Latin America. What's the go-to-market strategy for KitchenAid of Latin America? I'm Martin. I'm the founder and CEO of Nimu.
Okay, that's a very loaded question. I mean, go-to-market strategy for a region. We have things that are working for us. You know, we do have new product launches that we want to speed up in terms of acceleration. We want to reach out to more consumers that are relevant for us. We want to tap into new consumers. We want them to make sure they're getting a high-quality product, so that translates into, you know, better manufacturing capabilities. We also want to make sure, you know, we're providing better warranty, et cetera. Because at the end of the day, what you really want to unlock is your lifetime consumer value. You can get 10x consumers today, but if you're not really creating a product that they value, that they're not proud of passing on from generation to generation, that steep incline that you saw in your sales is bound to fall. So we are still, you know, really proud of the products that we build in KitchenAid and Whirlpool as well, where we build these to last. So that won't change. In terms of new tech, you know, in terms of VTEX or Contentful or anything else that, or Algolia or Search, et cetera, there are opportunities that we need to tap into and take calculated risks. What got us here will not get us to where we want to go in the future, especially if we want to grow at an accelerated pace. So what are those calculated risks that we want to take in Latin America is going to be important. How can we learn from the other regions now that we deployed EMEA, we deployed US and Canada? Are there things that we can learn and deploy right away in Latin America? That would be huge. Also identifying things that are unique to LAR that can help the other regions get better should also be deployed. So that cross learning is also going to be key. I would say those are some of the big ones, but it's a very loaded question. A go-to-market strategy is dependent on so many different factors.
Really the last one. Oh, two more, so if we are fast. And really thanks for the time.
Goku, it's becoming harder and more expensive to sell in e-commerces all over the world, I think in US as well, because it's expensive to bring audiences to our e-commerce, especially that we have Amazon that controls the majority of the audience for e-commerce in US. So how do you balance selling on your own e-commerce website and selling through these big marketplaces such as Amazon? How do you balance this type of strategy inside KitchenAid?
Yeah, as you said, it is changing right now. If you think about it, SEO is no longer just SEO. There's AEO out there, right, where you can actually go to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever generative AI you want to use and ask, hey, what's the best car that I want to buy? And it could pop you different results. So it is no longer on the brand alone to actually cause an increase in sales due to their strategies. It is going to be more on the partners. It's going to be more on the products that you build, et cetera, and how you know to play that game going forward. I would say we're still in the early stages. We are doing some experiments with VTEX, with some of the other providers we have, Google, et cetera, to figure out that whole AEO model, because it is no longer going to be just based on reviews on our site that people can be expected to purchase more. Also, if you think about it, there are going to be strategies around AEO for different retailers. We sell through the big box retailers, the Walmarts, the Home Depots, et cetera, of the world. So what are their strategies and how should that be in line with ours? It is a tough question, but the only thing I can say is it has to change if we have to really win in that new world that we are getting into, because we can't simply rely on the experience that we're getting just on our site to improve the consumer's perspective on our products.
Very last one.
Sure, yeah. Om Kundu, founder, CEO of Save Away, Save Now, Buy Later. Yeah, I guess the question is, around topicality of affordability is a big topic these days, whether it's election cycles or otherwise. KitchenAid and Whirlpool is like an aspirational brand. Longevity of the merchandise matters. So how are you thinking about affordability as it pertains to, whether it's payment schemes or otherwise for the customer?
So you mean affordability of tech or affordability of products by itself?
Affordability of products. Technical solutions that enable, or payment systems that enable affordability of products.
Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever improvement, enhancement, or every dollar that I'm putting into technology has to have an impact to the end user. Some of it might be directly visible, as engraving you saw, the consumer can see it, but a lot of it can also help in the back end. That is the kind of lens that I put, because at the end of the day, if I want to bring in any investments, we have to show those returns. And ideally, if those returns are directly tangible, it helps. But in some of those cases, if it helps an analyst do their job better, just as the example I was giving earlier, that could also qualify for that. So that is based on technology. I also believe technology, such as VTEX, et cetera, should overall cost less over time, because technology is built that way and should offer more opportunities for brands to scale, open up new channels and avenues. Lastly, how do you upskill, the talent that you need within the organization to be prepared for the organization of the future? I think that's also going to add a lot of value to where you want to be as an organization. From a product standpoint, you have to continue to build lifelong lasting products that people are proud of. So that is like a non-compromisable aspect. How do you get better at manufacturing, et cetera, is also going to be key, plus club with new technology that's available through VTEX and otherwise is also going to be.
Thank you so much. More questions?